So, um, yesterday, November 5th, I was terrible. I woke up that day with like the entire morning before school feeling like just a bunch of dysphoria. Because if you've seen this, like gender stuff, whatever. Terrible. So I was feeling that a lot. I just want to say that, like, there is a period of time in people's lives where the older they get, the harder it is to learn a language. When you're younger, it's really easy to take in that information for communication. But when you get older, you get used to how you speak, and it's harder to learn a language. You can't really acquire it as easily. And with that, even pronunciation sticks, so it's hard to pronounce other languages, and your accent is just kind of stuck. It's like your critical learning period is gone. That's just the way that the mind settles into things when it gets older and gets more used to things. I'm I've been worried about that, like, very minorly, like as a very minor thing, because I like languages. I'm really worried that it's gonna happen with other things in like a similar way, because like I'm feeling more of a disconnect from the fact that I'm like gender questioning it. It's like, because like a kid is not gonna understand gender when they're really young. There's not gonna be anything to it. They don't really see anything that's to do with it. But the older you get, the more in tune to it you get, where everything you're taught about it just makes sense, and you're just stuck to that. And I'm really worried I'm gonna get to that point before I'm ever even recognized for who I am, and then I'm just stuck as a guy. I'm really worried about that. So like, that entire morning I was worrying about it. Here's the thing. I was depressed for like most of that entire day. So even by the time I got to the school, I was worrying about other things, and I was just like fully depressed before the bell even rings, and I'm just like waiting to get inside. One of my friends is there, and I really don't feel like talking to anyone that day. But they walk up to me, they ask what day. Turns out it was my friend's birthday that day. I don't like birthdays. Like, okay, they're fine. Like, if someone wants to celebrate their birthday, that's fine. If they want to invite me to something for theirs, that's fine. I'm not gonna wish them a happy birthday though. I'm not gonna wish them a bad one. That's not what I mean. I just mean I'm not gonna say any of that stuff. I just don't like them. My friend really didn't understand the concept that I wasn't used to birthday stuff. They have a good relationship with their parents though. That's the thing. Here's how birthdays go with me. My mother tries to act like the nicest person in the world for one day a year, but every other day it's like so weird, that woman. So she tries to act like the nicest person in the world all of a sudden with a camera right in my face the entire day, while my father tries to take credit for all the stuff my mother was doing. And it just becomes so superficial. Like, I just don't like celebrating it. I don't like that kind of attention, and it's not fun to celebrate, so I don't tell anyone. Bro, my friend was literally just like, why are you not gonna say it's me? I told you happy birthday on your birthday. I told you not to, deliberately. The entire year before it. Like, the entirety of the year leading up to my birthday. I told her not to say it. The same I told, like, I didn't even have to say it that much for everyone else. No one else did it. They understood. She did not. She really wanted to, for some reason. I was so annoyed by it. I hate it. I hate having that day recognized. It was like, I didn't want you to say it. You can't use that as an excuse. I told you not to. I deliberately didn't tell you when I was born. And you still found out on your own and memorized it months in advance. Why would you? I just don't like birthdays. I really don't like them at all. So I'm just not used to like selling someone else's clothes. Sorry, did I say my hair was like I sorry, I just took a shower before I started recording this stuff. I remembered I was planning on making this video about this that weird depressing day because I was feeling terrible in that shower. Happens occasionally. Honestly, I get very panicky most showers now because I never realized how much time I spend in there getting distracted by things before the shower, during the shower. I get distracted for a long time. Definitely have ADHD. You can't convince me otherwise. If you see what it's like in there, but I get stressed in there because my mother realizes I'm awake anytime near curfew. She's gonna be really upset. I have a fucking curfew. People wonder why I sneak out. It's because of that. It's because of how strict shit is. I have to. I'm thinking about it less, but I still have the slightest little idea that there is a camera somewhere in this room. I just have no evidence for it anymore. But so but yeah, I was very depressed through that entire day. So like I was feeling terrible in the wings when we were doing rehearsal for my theater class. It was terrible in there. And I kept seeing things for like a few days before that. I wasn't doing very good. And was being very panicky for like for a few days before that. I was not very good at all. So that day I was in the wings and I kept felt feeling like there were people nearby me while I was in the wings. Like people were watching me, like I could feel them, and I thought people were there and they were like seeing me do all this stuff. But it took me a very long time. I didn't have the motivation to move at all before my scene was up, so I just sat and was very still. I'm like I don't even know what I felt. It was terrible. But it took me a while before I looked back and realized there was no one there. Though I kept feeling like I was seeing things, but I wasn't entirely sure. Nothing really, you know. Nothing I would really count as actually seeing things like I usually do. Yeah, then second block, I've got music blasting in both ears constantly because I just want to avoid and ignore absolutely everything in the world. And I didn't do a lot of stuff in that class that day, and I was feeling terrible about that. Next class, couldn't really do that with the music as easily, but that's directly before lunch. My friends in my class, I tried to take as much time as I could for him to just leave, and I sneak the other way and just go somewhere else for lunch where no one sees me. But this is the one day out of the entire year he didn't fucking say that I was too slow and then just leave without me. This is the one time he actually waited on me. And I had to leave me out the door, and I'm thinking if I take a little bit of time getting through the door, maybe I could still sneak through. And then our other friend shows up, who usually doesn't show up on time, and is asking about me. I have to go with them. I can't avoid them. I can't leave. So I'm going to lunch with all of them, and they're noticing something's up with me, but they're joking about it the entire time, and I just don't want to say anything. So I say nothing the entire time, and I feel terrible through the whole thing. I just don't enjoy anything, and like they keep noticing things and keep commenting about it. I don't even know how to tell them, like, guys, I'm depressed. I really don't want to deal with any of this shit. That sounds fucking corny as shit saying it like that. So yeah, that was terrible. And then It got a bit better at my last class. I was feeling a bit better by that point. Then I went home like it was all normal. And then I saw the play that I'm required to watch because I wasn't able to do that the day before. So I wasn't feeling a lot. I wasn't feeling depressed while watching it, but I wasn't feeling the best either. Like during the serious play that goes up first, I was actually horrified watching that. I'm usually not. They do good with the serious plays though. They're really good at that stuff. It accomplishes like exactly what it tries to go. But the comedy, I didn't laugh at that at all through the entire thing. I tried to, but like I really didn't have anything in me. Even things that I felt were funny, I nothing. I feel like I didn't have a lot of emotion or energy that night or like the entire day. And here's and I was remembering it before I started recording this, like when I was gonna take a shower, because as I was getting ready for the shower and undressing, suddenly dysphoria shows up again, and I'm just upset with how I feel in this body. I really don't like it. I just wish I had like nothing at all that was like readable whatsoever. I'm really upset about everything. And the entire time, I'm thinking about the fact that like it's like I'm the first person that I met that's like a guy that was gender non-conforming. It's not usually the case. People always have people before that they can like look to when they're questioning this stuff. No, I had no one, and I didn't really confirm any of this stuff myself until recently, because of the fact that until last year all my friends were completely straight. Who am I supposed to talk to about this kind of shit? So it really upsets me the fact that like I know so many people. Like I have so many. I'm not trying to brag. I have so many friends just because like I finally have a place where I can find like a bunch of people that are like exactly the type of people I've always admired. So many of them. Two of them actually know anything about like what I am. That's not even just people I've told about this though. I've told this to so many people, and I've shown signs to even more, and like there's no way people can avoid this stuff, and yet only two people actually acknowledge that I'm like queer in any sort of way, or like use the correct pronoun, and only one of them even used the right name. It's like no one I know doesn't. It's like, oh man, a guy questioning his gender? Blasphemy! No way! Well, I thought everyone wanted to be a guy. And I genuinely feel like if I were to talk about this stuff to anyone, it's like guys are gonna be confused, but then girls are like, when I say girls, I mean people who are like girls or FTM and or any sort of way. I feel like that's always gonna cause judgment if I really get into it, because they're like, they think it's great to be a guy. Everyone thinks it's great to be a guy. Guys love being guys. Girls want to be guys. That's what I've noticed. So like, if I talk about this stuff, they're gonna talk about how much better it is for me, like physically, like biologically, and like how it is societally, how I have way more freedom. Here's the thing: out of powerful men, which you keep looking at, the men in power only give men power when they act like men with power. I hate that kind of shit. That's not who I am. I'm not gonna act all strong man. It's not just being a guy, it's how you act as a guy. It's being specifically a man like man. And I hate that shit. I've never been normal my entire life, and that's how I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed being different and weird. this is part of that. I don't want to be like a very manly, masculine guy who's trying to be all better than everyone because he's a guy and be all assertive. Fuck no. I hate that. I hate that. That's where like, if I'm not that, people are gonna call me a fucking twink. You know how many people fucking called me a twink in this year alone? You think it's really fun being a guy? Fuck no. And in general, even out of societal stuff, I hate how this feels physically. This shit sucks. It's part genes, and it's part the fact that I'm a guy in general. I hate the fact that, like, because of my parents' genetics combined, my father, his, like, facial hair gene, and the fact that my mother had slightly more testosterone than she's supposed to, because everyone has both testosterone and estrogen, just one's stronger than the other one. She has slightly more testosterone than usual. Not more than estrogen, obviously, but still more than the usual woman, meaning she also shaves. So I have two genes that are making me grow facial hair so fast that, like, I have to do this shit. Like, I do it at night and I feel stubble in the morning. I do it in the morning, I feel stubble in the afternoon. This shit sucks. And I hate how it feels biologically. I hate this body. I hate looking all masculine. I got so insecure for a lot of middle school that I did push-ups like every day. Now I have muscular, very slightly muscular arms, but it's just enough to really piss me off. And I hate, like, you know what I'm talking about. I hate that part. It's terrible. So yeah, I just hate being a guy, and the thing is, got no fucking representation with that. No one ever pays attention to this shit. They just think I'm happy with being a guy, and they think all guys should be. I hate this shit. People just recognize that I don't want to be like this. People just, like, understand that like, not every guy loves being like. The reason I've noticed that, something I see is that, like, I know so many girls that are lesbian and then girls that are bi, and a good amount that went from bi to lesbian. I know a lot of them like that because they all have bad experiences with men and don't like them because the men always go on a power trip. That's what they have observed. Now let's look at the men. They're all straight. They didn't go through a similar thing. That's because the men, the ones I'm not friends with, just in general, a lot of them, they go on a fucking power trip. They love women in a way that women do not love people. Because they do it in a terrible way that's, like, not real. It's really uncaring. And so because of that, they go on a... They love being a guy because they think that means they can do that. Meaning, they're going to stay straight because they feel like they're in a position of power being a man. And that makes the woman hate them. So, here's what that means. Men like women. Women like women. They don't like men. That's, like, most of the people I actually know. There's a good amount of straight women. Very small amount of gay men. Such a small amount, genuinely. Like, gay specifically, 2. There's only 2 of them I know. So, what that means, the men love being men because they think that gives them power. The women hate the men and think men would love to be men. So where am I? I don't like being like this. I'm sorry, I sound really hateful when I say that. I'm not trying to say guys are awful. They're not. They're not all like that, obviously. Not all men are like that, not all women are like that, the ways I've described them. I'm just really upset right now. I'm sorry. else to do. Kind of like 22:33. Very interesting. I guess I'll just say a random thought I thought about earlier today. Being in a red state's very interesting. Found out recently we have 3 representatives over here. They are all Republican, and I already knew this is a very, very much a red state. It's one of the southern states. It's was part of the Confederacy. The 3 representatives. That's the city, not the state, but it's very Republican. I hate it over here like this. Public schools aren't allowed to force things on you that like would infringe on like the First Amendment. Like they can't push religion. You're not allowed to do that in public schools. My middle school didn't allow us to learn about evolution. They restricted that because they thought it would hurt people's religious beliefs, and a lot of science was censored, especially through my 8th grade. And in my school right now, there are AI generated posters from like students or staff, whoever the hell, about like this Christianity club, and these posters are everywhere. There's so many of them. Pretty much about all this join the Christian club, whatever the fuck. And like that doesn't seem like something that's allowed to happen. Students aren't allowed to make clubs in my school. The way the clubs work is teachers make clubs, and they have to have like at least one student helping them out, like maybe with some sort of committee or something. And if they get enough members, it's a genuinely recognized club in the school. If not, it's only a sort of club. Like the astronomy club stopped being a club this year because not a lot of people show up anymore. You know, a lot of them graduated, and a lot of other people don't really support that much. So it stopped being really a recognized club, and so it's completely open to everyone. You can't close it out anymore. So yeah, it's not a student going around like, hey, join the Christianity club. No, some staff member out there made this club and wants people to join it, and people are joining it for it to be this supported. If I made a fucking paganism club, I'd be gunned down on the spot. Genuinely, I might be the only pagan in my entire city. I'm not sure. Maybe my entire state. Who knows? Probably not, though. It's a very interesting state. But, I don't know. Whatever. Just want to say, it's weird how so much stuff about Christianity is about, like... I always feel the need to say Christianity and Catholicism, because my mother genuinely does not believe they're one of the same. I tell her Catholicism is a form of Christianity. She doesn't believe that. She thinks they're separate. So, if anyone watching this gets ticked off, both of these. Something about their beliefs is that people are equal to each other, everyone is forgiven in the eyes of God, and we should not treat each other badly for things that do not matter in people. And yet, they will hate people by race or belief or pride or some shit. My belief that I just figured out on my own is live your life for the sake of living. Make it worth living. And don't make other people's life not as much worth living. It doesn't matter who the fuck they are. Does not matter at all. Treat them like a human being, and treat yourself like a human being. That's the only way to be a good person in my head. Treat yourself good and treat others good as well. Look for yourself, though. That doesn't mean look only to yourself, be above everyone. I hate that kind of stuff. It's like both my parents. Um, it's just you gotta look out for yourself first because you were given this life. So please treat it well. It's like the greatest gift you could have been given. And a good way to lead this life that you've been given properly afterwards is treat other people just as good. Me, I'm not doing good in my cycle. I treat other people pretty well. Not so much myself. I'm not feeling like it's worth living. So, sure, my next reincarnation is not gonna be as fun. I'm kind of content with it though. Honestly, I don't care that if I'm not reincarnated as some like desirable animal. If I come back as a human and I just don't remember any of this shit, I'm fine with that too. I don't really care. Yeah, sure. Give me a second chance on living. See if I can get it right this time. I don't mind. I don't know how I started rambling about paganism. I'm sorry. I don't want to push this kind of stuff. I try not to talk about this stuff so I don't push it on people, but whatever.